Good morning. This is going to be a longer video. I am replacing a Trane blower motor and blower wheel. Last season the wheel had blown into pieces and fallen off the motor. I'm not sure why it happened. There was no evidence as to why it happened, but it's an OEM motor and wheel. It took a long time to get, and also the customer had never confirmed whether or not they wanted us to do it until I did their tune-up this season. So I'm installing that and recording the majority of the process. I'm at the unit now. Peter's going to grab the blower motor and the blower wheel. You can see it's a Trane. Got the Vito, some light, and we'll take the cover off. Power has been killed to this system for probably almost a year now. They had no need to use it since it's strictly AC. And just the one screw. And here we have, get the light out, that blower, and I'll take it out to get a better look, but I'm not sure what caused it. It just completely exploded. Their complaint was that it was making noise, but it just wasn't working at all. It completely shredded apart. Before I pulled this motor out, I was just looking at the wiring. It has these two little harness connections that go up here, so I could pull everything out right now. But I took a peek underneath, and maybe this is just something I've never noticed before, but it only has one wire going into it, aside from the capacitor wires. But according to the wiring diagram here, that's how it is supposed to be. Just seems a little weird to me, but that's how it is, so that's how it's gonna go back. And here it is. So this wheel just completely blew off. The wheel on the bottom blew off, and it must have just been rattling back and forth, and it shredded that wheel. So I will get the motor out, and then I'll open up the blower from a couple screws over here, and that should give me access to that wheel. So I got the new motor out just to take a look at it. It has the same two wires for the cat, that wire for ground, and the connections here, but only one being used. I just need to figure out which one this is. I see A, B, C, D, but I don't see speed. I'm going to assume it's high, but I'm not going to connect that up until I'm sure. Taking off the mounting bolts things. And I already pulled off the lock nut thing. It was just loosely on there. The motor's also really loose, the shaft. And now wire cutters, please. That's not what I meant. The other ones?
Yeah, these?
The ones that cut.
Oh, the side cutters?
No. This went on capacitor with the black wire. And pull this out. So this will just pour it out. Let's see. In the wiring diagram, it says it should be wired up for B. It was wired up for D. I'm going to see what speed the different letters are. I mean, it's probably the obvious. but just to be sure. Brackets out. Oh, you know what? I didn't ask you for gloves.
Alright, gloves.
Get this bracket off. We're reusing this. Let me wipe off my hands.
There's gloves right there.
Put gloves on. And then see what I could do for pulling the housing apart. I've never disassembled the housing itself. It looks straightforward to me.
Do you want that other light over here?
I could see. Got a screw here. That worked. And dust and insulation up here. I'm gonna do these screws as well because I don't want to bend this too much and then not be able to put it back the right way. And you want to show them access to pull it out. See, it's totally annihilated.
Oh wow.
But the inside of this looks fine. Let's see. Maybe we'll clean this out just because it's apart. Yeah. Do you want to get the Milwaukee shop vac? Bring it up here with a battery. We'll vacuum this out. Trying to record a lot more because that's what people are commenting they want. So you'll get to see the uninteresting stuff too. Take all this dust up everywhere. Not that it's terribly dirty at all, but there is a big pile of metal shavings from the blower disintegrating. So I'll definitely vacuum that out, but vacuum out some dust as well. Get the point. So we got all the dust swept into a pile at the bottom. That's it. Just to make sure that the dust isn't getting kicked up and blown all through the ductwork that they stack their luggage on top of. And now, get the wheel out for me, please. I'll slip that wheel in. And get the motor in. Okay. Let's see. Rotation is this way. Yes. Got it in that way. Blades are pointing towards me, so it'll push air through the opening, and the lock nuts on that side like the other one was. The motor mounts on this side, so I'll get that all put together. I'll need both hands for that. And I'm putting the bracket on this loosely for now. Let's see. About halfway the bend, and let's see, about right there is where they ended, so this looks like it should be about right. I can always adjust it if I need to. The drill here. And just tighten it up here. On this side. Make sure all these little mounts are where they need to be. And that's nice and tight. These aren't going anywhere. It's not gonna work. That should put the connections exactly where I need them. So, I'll drop it in here. Nice and snug on that. I'll make sure I can move my wheel up and down without interfering with anything, which I can. So I'll put these screws back in, bolts. Not gonna go crazy with them yet, in case I need to take it back out. want to strip it. Pretty much in. I can adjust the position of the wheel, which is going to be about there. And I'm making sure the flat spot on the shaft is in line with that set screw. I'll tighten that with an adjustable. Okay, let's tighten. Give it a spin. And we're not touching anywhere. We're centered. Blowing in the right way. Okay. And that's just the 2 screws. Longer 1/4-inch screws, which are going into the actual piece of sheet metal. That I don't want to strip, because it's not really threaded on, it's just kind of barely catching. Now I'll just double check and make sure everything that I've done is tight, and then I'll mount it. Okay, so I got everything in and wired as it was. And time to hit power. We're running. The motor doesn't feel hot. I don't smell anything strange. I'm pretty paranoid with fan motors because I've had so many. I've had 2 go bad on me. I think we're all set. Get the cover on, turn it on and cooling, and I have to check his refrigerant charge on both systems, and we'll see how everything looks. Nice and quiet, nice and smooth. There's Peter. Mike just stopped by. He's downstairs. Don't know what he's doing right now, but that's it. Just had to come back up and switch the rotation of the fan because I was not observant. And now we're gonna see how the pressures are outside with the rotation correct. So we finished up with that. After I fixed the fan rotation, we had good saturation temperature and our subcooling was around 16 degrees, which is what it needed to be. And now we're headed to set a install in place and measure out for the ductwork that we're going to need to run and install.
Turn right onto Woodner Boulevard.
But that's going to be it for this video. Like the video, comment anything that you would have done differently or any advice, and subscribe.